Excerpt from An Atlantean Triumvirate by Craig R. McNeil. The silence of millennia echoed through the corridors of ancient stone. Once, many generations ago, long before the supposed dawn of modern civilization, the corridors had rung to the sounds of scientific and military endeavor. The clash of metal and grating of stone still hung in the air, a tinkling that could be heard if you listened hard enough. Once there thrived a civilization that reached the four corners of the earth, whose people lived in prosperity and freedom, people that were giants 8 feet tall. They sailed the oceans, bringing peace and prosperity wherever they went, and were treated like gods. But they became complacent, and complacency bred contempt for each other. Hatred. These mighty people split into factions and fought. The mighty energies they had harnessed for good, they channeled into creating mighty war machines. And they fought, and now they fight no more. But the war factories they created still stood, although they were now many hundreds of fathoms beneath the waves. Silent, dark, and lonely, they remained undisturbed, monuments to the evil excesses of a long-gone people, undisturbed. Until now, in the bleak winter months of 1935. Water hung from the high vaulted ceilings, stretching, fighting the inevitable force of gravity before dripping down, splashing loudly into cold black puddles. Lonely howls of unknown creatures wound through the miles of darkness, sounding like lost souls stranded on the banks of the long-since dried-up Styx. Suddenly, there was a deep, low bass thud that resounded far down into the hidden depths of the ancient mausoleum of war. Dust trickled down from crumbling joists, scaring skittering creatures away. The dripping of water continued its reign of silence, dripping constantly, unceasingly. Once again, the air was assaulted, this time by a shrill whine which slowly increased in volume. Before screaming to a halt, there were more low thuds, followed by a sharp crack of stone and a huge bang as a huge 2-foot thick chunk of granite fell into one of the corridors. Blinding light streamed in, slicing through the thick, dank darkness, shredding the gloom. Motes of dust spiraled in the sudden draft, the smell of oil and grease permeating into the violated sanctity of the Temple of Destruction. From beyond the light source came a deep, menacing tread. Something was coming, something heavy. The light flickered as a bulky, squat, humanoid shape loomed into view at the newly cut doorway. The figure was heavily armored with rounded plates of iron and steel, covering every aspect of its 7.5-foot tall body. Partly hidden by the heavy cast armor, tubes snaked from the legs and arms, interfacing with the bulky wide carapace. The mighty right arm held an enormous cannon-like weapon. Steam and gases rose from gaps between the armor, blowing away in the oily breeze. Above the mighty carapace, a helmet shaped like a skull, with a single slit for eyes and a grid for a mouth stuck out from the protection of the power armor, taking in all that was lit by the lights shining from the shoulder pads. Captain James Riley had arrived.